Good morning, my dear Alok Ghoshal, Chairman from Jamshedpur chapter, and my RBP East, Dr. Roma Gomes, past President, National Council member, chapter chairman, and chapter secretaries, all my ISTD friends and other friends also. Today, where the topic is value engineering. This is a very interesting topic, and it is a mastermind of our chapter chairman of Jamshedpur, Dr. Mr. Alok Ghoshal. Goshalji is a very important role in India and abroad for these topics. We learn from more from him. ISTD is a national body. In the lockdown period and COVID-19, we have decided to make a webinar or Zoom platform to knowledge sharing session to all our members and also others who are not also members, for the visionary leaders from across the globe, and also our technical leaders and also statutory leaders. On this occasion, we have lot of webinar we have done, at least 25 to 30 webinar done for every month, even not less. So Eastern India Jamshedpur is one of the vibrant chapter. So this chapter has doing a lot of activities across the country or across the year. So in this today's program, value engineering, we learn a lot of things from Mr. Ghoshal. Mr. Ghoshal is a pioneer in this line, and he has done this program many years for this program. And in the national office, I would thank all the members who have participated today, and also our technical staff, and also our director who has arranged for the webinar last 3 months relentlessly across the all chapter as well as national office. So national office is very active for sharing the knowledge. We are the knowledge based organization. We are the training development organization. We disseminate our knowledge to every corner of the country and make ISTD is one of the great organization, not only in the country, also abroad. On this vision and mission, we have started webinar, and many new members also enlightened and also make their knowledge, and also they communicate us. This the Nataraji is a wonderful program. Every week we are getting 2-3 programs, national office and chapter. All the chapter across the country is doing, and very good. And also Eastern Indian all chapter under the leadership of Dr. Roma Gomes, our regional vice president, under his kind and active leadership, Eastern India also doing very good. Every week almost some chapter is doing this program. I would compliment Dr. Roma Gomes for his active participation for Eastern India's growth and development, and his tenure, it has done a very good activities. On this occasion, I would thank all the participants, office bearer of Jamshedpur who has done this, Sushanji, chapter secretary, chapter vice chairman, chapter treasurer. I would request them kindly do this program regularly, and I also request our regional vice president, Dr. Roma Gomes, please keep in follow. Every chapter should be vibrant and should be activity at the tune of national office. So national office is doing very good in this scenario, COVID scenario. Also, national office is open every day and discharge their duties actively and efficiently. I, on behalf of National President, I'll thank all the chapter chairman, vice chairman, secretary of Eastern India, national committee members, and also past president, and our honorable National Council members, chapter chairmen and secretary for this joining this wonderful session. And we will learn a lot of things, Mr. Ghoshal, and thank you, Mr. Ghoshal, for taking this wonderful session. We'll take this wonderful session today, and I would request Dr. Roma Gomes, please anchor the session, and you introduce formally to the speaker, and also a question and answer session, and moderating the entire session, whatever required. Thank you all the members who have participated, and I must thank Mr. Alok Ghoshal and also Dr. Roma Gomes for this wonderful organizing for this wonderful session. Thank you very much, and good luck everybody. Over to Roma Gomes.
Thank you, sir. So welcome you all. I would like to introduce Mr. Alok Ghoshal, though he does not require an introduction, but still it's a formal requirement. So Mr. Alok Kumar Ghoshal, he is a mechanical engineer retired from Tata Steel India Limited in 2012 after putting in service for 35 years. He is an expert in lean manufacturing, Six Sigma, total productive maintenance, daily management, and ISO certification, all certification he is having on behavioral based safety. Also, he is working into 5As. He is a recipient of Mohata Award for 3 times. We are really fortunate, sir, to have you. He is a life member and fellow vice president communications of the Indian Value Engineering Society, administrator. He is a chairman, local chapter of the Indian Society for Training and Development, Jamshedpur. He is associated with many educational institutions in India for transferring knowledge like BIT Mestra, KIIT, Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy, and his work sphere in nationally and internationally. It's a huge, huge data which I am having, but I don't want to talk about more onto this, just giving you background like Indian Railways, Indian Shipbuilders, Tata Steel, Tata Motors. Nationally, he has worked with, I can say, most of the companies in India, all the Fortune 500 pan-India basis he has worked with. Internationally, he is regular faculty to TUV Academia Middle East, Abu Dhabi, member of TUV Nord Group and Defined Management and Consultancy of Abu Dhabi. He has conducted 5 basic VAWE and 2 advanced VAWE courses for ATCO, which is now called as ADNOC, on behalf of Defined Management Abu Dhabi from 2015 to 2017, and 2 basic VAWE and 2 advanced VAWE courses on behalf of TUV Nord Abu Dhabi for ADNOC during October 2018. So, sir, I think it's very less which I have said, but there is much more. So I would like Mr. Ghoshal to take over the session because it's very important for us, and we are really privileged to have him in this webinar. So thank you, sir. Thank you for coming. So you can just start the session.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, President Dr. Natarajan and Regional Vice President Mrs. Ruma Gomes. So let's go with this value engineering. So welcome to the world of value engineering. In this session, I'll be talking about the overview. In this overview, we'll be covering how is value engineering developed, what is value methodology, what is value methodology, how it is done, and gains to value methodology. Though it is a little technical subject, and many people who are non-technical are also attending this webinar, so I try to put it in a little lighter manner so that non-technical persons also can understand the subject. It's very simple. Actually, the methodology started with value analysis. Now we call it value engineering, but it started with value analysis by Lawrence D. Miles in USA. He was born in 1994 and expired in 1985. He was basically an electrical engineer working in the General Electric Company. During after the Second World War, you are all aware that there was a recession. That is the post-1945. All industries were reeling under profitability. Equipments, materials, everything was in short supply. And L.D. Miles worked in the purchase department during that 1940s in the General Electric Company in USA. He worked in the purchase department from 1931 to 1964 till retirement. In 1947, he conceptualized that everything around us has to do a set of functions to deliver satisfactory performance reliably. These functions are to be understood and improved upon by doing it differently and in better manner. So the product, process, and service improves. So he conceptualized that instead of improving a product, process, or service directly, we should always harp on the functions what they are doing, and we should try to improve that. The event that triggered the development of VA, value analysis, was called asbestos affair. This asbestos, you are all aware that it is a floating material, and during 1940s and before that also in the United States and everywhere in the world, because it's very cheap, it used to be used in the floating as a floating material in the godowns, stores, godowns, and etc. Now, after the Second World War, United States government came to know about that there is a cancerous material and this is a very poisonous material for the human being, so it has to be taken out. So use of asbestos was stopped. So GEC was asked to withdraw all the asbestos material and relay with a different material. As a purchase department, as a purchase engineer, his job, Mr. Miles' job was to procure from the market whatever is available and lay it over on the godown floor. But he did not go the usual way, just going to the market, asking for the quotation and then selecting the best supplier and then implementing it. It didn't go this way this time. What he wanted to find out that what are the functions of the asbestos, what are the good functions and what are the bad functions, why government has banned it, there must be some bad function which is intriguing government, so that is why government must have banned it. And he was electrical engineer, he didn't know what are the functions of the asbestos. So he went on asking his colleagues, what are the functions of the asbestos tiles? So the functions he came to know about the asbestos tiles are this, that is fireproof, which is indicated by prevent fire, is a soundproof, is a dampen sound, acid and alkaline resistant is prevent reaction, electrical bad conductor is to prevent conduction, it is having a good mechanical strength, provides strength, it is a high wear resistance, withstand wear, it is a low cost, minimize cost. Having these many good functions, why government has banned it? It must be having some serious bad function. That is what is it releases dust, which is cancerous material. This release dust is a bad function and all other functions are good functions. So he wanted to find out from various suppliers, can they produce tiles where this bad function or the negative function or the unnecessary function will not happen. All the good functions will remain and bad function will go. So the suppliers, they didn't have any other tiles. So suppliers quickly researched upon various type of tiles and quickly came out with the various alternatives. And those are those alternatives that we are having presently. And that is how the asbestos have been removed and a very different tile was used. So the management of GEC was very happy and they coined this term called value analysis. That means they have analyzed, Miles has analyzed to increase the value of the product. Later on, in 1945, in 1954, US was, because you are all aware that after Second World War, all ships were demolished by Japan. So they wanted to build up a new warships. So millions of dollars were required. So they wanted to implement this value methodology into their activity, because it was in the beginning in the drawing or the computer stage. So they coined a new term called value engineering. So value analysis was extended to value engineering. Now this value engineering word has become so popular that whether you use the value analysis, but people keep on using the word value engineering. There is a slight difference between value analysis and value engineering. Value engineering comes before, it's before the fact. When nothing is available, it is only in the drawing stage, in the development stage, then that is the time when this methodology is implemented. And when everything is available in front of you after the fact, so that is what is called value analysis. So value engineering is done in the conceptual design and development stage, and the value analysis is done in the manufacturing, implementation, and operation stage. Methodology is same, only the applications are different. No, because there is a confusion between value engineering, value analysis. People keep on saying value engineering, value analysis, so without understanding what to use, which name. So now Society of American Value Engineers coined a new word which is called value methodology, which takes care of value analysis or value engineering. Now, we'll not talk about value engineering or value analysis, we'll talk about value methodology. In short, it's called value VM. Now, what's value? Because we are going to engineering the value, we are going to engineer, we are going to improve the value, so we have to understand what's value. The whole subject is to enhance the value of a product, process, project, and service. Let's understand what's value. Aristotle has talked about 7 types of values: economic, political, social, aesthetic, ethical, moral, religious, judicial. In value methodology, we talk about the economic value and the aesthetic value. All other values are out. That is where money is transacted, that is what is called aesthetic economic value, and where beauty is concerned, that is what is called aesthetic value. So in value methodology, we talk about only these 2 values, economic value and aesthetic value. It's defined as a fair return of the equivalent in goods, services, or money exchange. We say return, that is the money, and equivalent is the satisfaction. That means the money that you get back out of satisfaction of the customer is what is the value. To make it simple, say there's a banana. All of us eat banana. Now, what is the cost of a banana? What the cost of banana in Jamshedpur and maybe all over in India, consider is a 5 rupee. Agreed? Now, this 5 rupee banana you purchase, you bring it home. Do you eat the whole 5 rupee stuff, or you peel it up? And then you throw the peel and you eat only the inner one. Now, have you ever imagined what is the cost of the inner one and what is the cost of the outer one? You have purchased, you have given 5 rupees, but are you consuming the 5 rupees worth material? No. You are at least throwing out at 50 paisa worth material, considering that cost of the skin is only 50 paisa. I'm not talking about the food value, I'm not talking about the taste value, I'm talking about the economic value. So, if you look at the economic part and if you try to consider the value of this product, you are not justified because you are paid 5 rupees, but you are consuming less than 5 rupees worth material. So the economic value is less than 5 rupees. Now, what does the customer want from you? What does the customer want from an organization? They want performance. Customer want performance. And there is a relation between performance and function. Performance and function. Let's try to understand what is performance and what is function. Performance is a demonstration of one's ability. And these abilities are itself called functions. That means you got an ability, which is called function. And once you implement, demonstrate this ability into something, into some activity, that is what is called performance. So there is a relation between performance and function. All performance are measurable. Some performance are measurable in quantitative term. There is a kg, meter, meter square, meter cube, degree centigrade, etc. Some performance is measured under qualitatively. That is percentage, number, etc. Like customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction is measured under percentage. Customer satisfaction is not measured under any kg, meter, meter cube. The performance is achieved through some cost. In order to get this performance, naturally you have to bear some cost. So there is a connection between performance and cost. So when you try to find out the value of certain thing, performance and cost, both these factors, both these elements come into. So mathematically, value is defined my satisfaction from the performance divided by what is the cost to get that satisfaction. In short, value is equal to performance by cost. You can say functions by cost, because performance are a set of functions, set of abilities. So value is equal to performance by cost, P by C. In short, we call it P performance, C cost. Now, this value can be improved in 5 ways. Let's see one by one, what are the 5 ways the value can be improved. And when you talk about the cost comprises of material, process, time, manpower, logistics, safety, environment, advertisement, marketing, warehousing, etc. Now, how can I enhance value? As I told you, value can be enhanced by 5 ways. And let's see one by one. First, performance remaining same, cost coming down. Numerator remaining same, denominator coming down, V will increase. Second, performance coming down, cost coming down more than the performance, V will increase. Numerator coming down, cost is coming down more than that, V will increase. Sometimes something is overperforming. If that overperformance has to be brought down to the level what customer wants. That is why we say that performance, if something is overperforming, it has to be brought down. That is how the value will increase. Performance go up, cost also go up. V will increase, numerator is going up more than the denominator, so V will increase. The fourth, performance going up, cost coming down. Of course, this is the best one, people will like it, the performance is going up, at the same time cost is also coming down. And the fifth, performance going up, cost remaining same. Performance also going up, cost remaining same. So these are the 5 ways we can improve the value. And the fourth one that you are seeing, performance going up and cost coming down, is very, very difficult, although it looks very attractive on paper, but it's very, very difficult. So we should not attempt it. What you should attempt in the type of industry that you are working in is the first one and the last one. That means performance remaining same, cost coming down, or the last one, performance going up, cost remaining same. Nevertheless, second and the third also are used depending upon the situation, but B going up and C coming down is not a holy cow. It can be also used, but there is the last attempt that we should make. Please remember, value methodology is not is value improvement. It's not a cost cutting. I've heard many times, many people say value engineering, value analysis is a cost cutting. It's not a cost cutting. It is value improvement. So value methodology is a value improvement, is not cost cutting. In the third section, we'll talk about what is value methodology. Definition wise, it's a method to improve value of any product, process, or system without sacrificing quality, reliability, and performance of product, process, and system. In the name of value methodology, if you have improved, but you have sacrificed quality and reliability performance, then that's not value methodology, that is something else. So in value methodology, you will improve. At the same time, quality, reliability, performance, you should not come down. It can go up, but at least it should remain the same level. VM, value methodology, is a procedure. It's not a product or process specific. And that is why the same methodology is applicable for everything. When value methodology is applied, the same methodology is applied in school, colleges, universities, libraries, in the airport, in the steel company, in the oil manufacturing, or in automobile, same methodology is applied. We have got a Bureau Indian Standard, BIS, that is IS 11810 in 1986, which is called V guideline to establish the fee. This guideline tells that whoever is using it in any business transaction, same methodology has to be used. VM goes with the premise that nothing is perfect. I hope you believe that nothing is perfect in this world. Most of everything is over-designed. Something is under-designed also, but most of everything is over-designed. You don't know what are over-designed. You go with the premise, the value methodology goes with the premise that nothing is perfect in this world. It's very difficult to have a balanced design. So what is over-design? When I'm talking about over-design, I'm saying imperfection. What is that imperfection? What is the over-design? Let me give you a simple example. This example is a beautiful example of Larsen and Toubro. They make a meter, electric meter, for reading out the electricity consumption. In the meter, there is a copper connector, copper small element. These are very small copper elements, 99.9% pure copper. the copper cannot be 100% pure, and that is why it becomes heated up. And when these two elements are joined, there are holes. You can see there are holes. When these elements are joined together, more resistance are created, more current drops, so meter reading is faulty. In order to take care of the faulty meter reading, to make it all right, what L&T has proposed that you coat the whole element with silver, 15 micron silver. You all know that 1 micron is 1 meter. So 10 to the power minus 6. So this is a 15 micron silver coating. However thin silver coating is done, but still it is very costly. Silver is very costly. But what you require actually is the silver coating on the joint, not on the whole body. But there is no process that you put the silver coating only, because these are done on the electroplating. You cannot just put silver coating on the joint, but not on the body. So a project was taken up, and this is what is called over design. It's over. This imperfection. Customer didn't suffer. Customer has no problem. It's only the company who is making it. They are spending money unnecessarily. So the project was taken up with the premise that is undesirable, unnecessary, it's imperfect, it's over designed. So cladding material has been designed, and the whole body is clad with the material, particular material, and the silver coating is done, and then it is dipped into the acid. The silver with the clad material goes out, and only in the joint portion the silver remains. So I was giving an example of what is called over design, what is called imperfection. These are the small way the imperfection, the over design happens every activity in our life. Let's take another example of over design. This is an aircraft assembly. You know, the aircraft assembly has got a life. Every assembly has got a life. So in aircraft, this whole assembly life is 10 years. And in the 10 years of life, this bearing assembly that you are seeing, its escape variety is up to 20 years. Whoever has designed this assembly, that person has designed it in such a manner that this bearing will never fail. So its life is 20 years. It's not a mismatch. It's not over design. It's not imperfection. When the whole assembly life is 10 years and this bearing life is 20 years, the extra 10 years that you are paying unnecessary. Because in this, after 10 years, the whole assembly is taken out, is cut into pieces and thrown into the furnace. But what is the extra 10 years of the bearing life that goes? That goes in waste. So this is what is called over design. This is what is called imperfection. That is what is seen through value methodology, with our mind and the eyes keeping open. The goal of an organization is to make money. Goal is not to make profit. Goal is to make money by selling its product morally, now as well in future. Now this goal is achieved by doing some activities to deliver products, services, by using resources. You consume resources. Without consuming resources, you can't do any activity. What are the main resources we use? Now let's see what are the main resources we use. Following are the resources that we use: people, material, machine, space, time, money, and environment. These are the resources divided. There are many other resources, but all those resources are clustered in these 7 resources. Mainly, these are the resources that we use for doing any activities to deliver product, services, or process to the customer. All these resources are worked through the processes to deliver the output. Do we use the right amount of resources or the right process? Just think, are you using the right amount of resources, the right processes? The answer will be definitely no. We are not using the right amount of resources, and we are not selecting the right process for converting the resources into the activities. There is almost always an excess use of resources and complicated process, which reduces the value of the product, process, and services. And that is what value methodology will do. Where is the extra resources going? What is the complicated process? Why it is a complicated process? It has to be set right. So giving performance high desired performance with the lowest cost, just creating value for the customer. That is what value methodology will do. Value methodology is for all-out improvement in all areas of resource consumption, whether you call it production, whether you call it quality, whether you call it in cost, delivery, safety and environment. Everywhere, anywhere, value methodology has got a hand on it. Now we have got problem galore. I'm talking about the shop floor. We have got operational problem, maintenance problem, marketing and sales problem, logistics, finance, safety, environment, HR, engineering, problems galore. Everywhere there is a problem. VM is one method for all problems. That is a solution. I call it's just like a pranayam and Kapalbhati advocated by Ramdev, that do this and all problems will be sorted out. It's still practiced after 73 years because of its versatility and adaptability and simplicity. None of the initiative that existed in the world sustained so many years. Many initiatives came and go, but the value engineering is still, value methodology is still going on strong after 73 years. Now, why should we apply VM? Practically all areas of a business operations. Any aspect of safety, sustainability, and environment. Any place where efficiency has to be replaced by effectiveness, and output is replaced by outcome. You are not talking about efficiency. You are talking about effectiveness. You may be efficient, but it may not be effective. Your output may be good, but your outcome may not be good. So value methodology talks about effectiveness and outcome. Of course, in order to get effectiveness and outcome, you have to be efficient and you have to be, your output has to be good. But the ultimate aim is to be effective and be outcome oriented. Section 4. How is value methodology done? We have been improving. Everybody is intelligent. Everybody has got a problem. Usually procedural improvement. You have a problem. Everybody has a problem in their life, whether you are home front, in a social firm, or in the shop floor. And you are intelligent. I hope you are intelligent. Of course, you are intelligent, and you use your brain. And you come out with a solution. You improve it. There is nothing big in it. You day in, day out, every moment you are doing it. Because God has given us intelligence and we are logical, we are improving it. But if you want to improve through value methodology, something extra is required. You have a problem? Identify elements that leading to problem. You don't solve the problem through your intelligence, your logic. You identify the elements which is leading to the problem. You ask, what are the functions of the elements? The concept of function is coming. You ask, what are the functions of the elements? How can I improve, eliminate, or replace, combine these functions so that my product improves, my service improves, my process improves? We don't improve directly. We improve the functions. We talk about the functions. We break the element into functions. We'll talk about the functions a little later. And you get the solution. In VM, you don't improve the product. You improve the functions of the element. Take an example. This is a cylinder head cover of a tractor engine. It is made of grey cast iron. No problem. It is going on. 60, 70 years it had gone. No problem. It was not giving any problem to the customer. Then why should it take up? Why should it think about it? Because whether it is giving a problem or not, you have to find an opportunity for improvement. Let's find out what are the functions. We have to improve on it. Let's find out what are the functions. The functions are, it withstand heat, it propagate heat, it radiate heat, it provides strength, it prevents deformation, it prevents oxidation, it increases load. It is doing all good functions, but the last function that you are saying, increased load, is a negative function, is unwanted, unnecessary function, the bad function. For completing all these good functions, if it is increasing the load, naturally your fuel efficiency will be less. So our job is, our purpose is to increase our purpose is to reduce the weight of the power. The solution is use HR sheet, hot rolled sheet. Hot rolled sheet, which will be fabricated into this power, and is very simple. It will do all the good functions, but it will take out all the bad functions. Value methodology is a step-by-step approach aimed at achieving desired functions without sacrificing quality, reliability, safety, and environment. As I told you, in the name of value methodology, you have improved, but you have sacrificed one of these: quality, reliability, safety, environment. Then that is not value methodology. Value methodology will not take into account any sacrifice of any of these four elements. The whole study of value methodology based on 6 phases is called pillars. The first one is information. The second one is function. Third is creativity. Fourth is evaluation. Fifth is development. And the sixth is presentation. And the output of information goes to the function. Output of function goes to the creativity. Output of creativity goes to the evaluation, and so on and so forth. In the first phase, that is the information phase, we find out why the problem is happening. How is the problem happening? Who is responsible for the problem? Is an agent, human being? Who is responsible for the problem? Where is this problem happening? Where is this problem happening? And what are the problem happening is what is most important. In value methodology, you try to find out what is actually happening. So a scope will be found out. In the information phase, our idea is to find out the scope of the study. And for identifying the scope of the study, we have to go through the rigmarole of why, how, who, when, where, and what. After collecting all the information, you are ready. Now we go to the function phase, which is the heart of value methodology. Very important phase. So we'll dwell on this phase a little more. The second phase is function phase. In this, we ask, what does it do? In Hindi, ye kya karta hai? What does it do? And this, what does it do, is expressed in 2 words: verb and noun. The verb is action verb, active verb, and the noun is a result, is measurable verb, measurable. All nouns are measurable. You all know, you all understand that any action has got result. All actions has got result. So all action verb has to definitely give some result. That result is a noun, and those 2 words we are capturing in expression in the function, verb and noun, active verb and measurable noun. It's very simple. Initially you may find it difficult, but over the practice it will become very simple. Each object has its characteristics, properties, and features. All these are its functions. Anything that you have, anything in front of you, anything around you, visible or invisible, it has got characteristics, it has got properties, it has got features. All these characteristic, properties, and features of anything, visible or invisible, are functions and are to be expressed in these 2 words. Among the functions, there is one or two very, very important functions, which is called basic function. That the main function which the object does. And there are secondary functions which support the basic function. So basic function is the most important function which we have to understand. Because if you have identified the basic function correctly, you have solved 50% of the problem. Identifying the basic function is not very easy initially. But over the practice, it becomes very simple. We'll do it a little bit. For example, many of you are using specs. 70–80% people are using specs. Now, if I ask you what is the function of the specs in 2 words, or maybe in a sentence also, suppose initially you say in the sentence, just think about it. What is the function of the specs? Is it to see? No, it is not to see. If it is to be seen, if it is to be seen, then many people who are not using specs, they are bound to wear the specs. So specs is not to make it seen. So specs has got a definitely different function. So the basic function, the most important function of the specs is correct vision. Those persons whose focal length of the eyes have gone defect, there it has to be set right, and putting a glass with a convex or concave, it is set right and the correct vision is happening. So the basic function of a specs is correct vision. Function expression, it will open your eyes, it will open your thinking. Because once your eyes and thinking, your thought process is open, naturally you will create wonder. You will try to find out differently, definitely you will try to find out a solution for that. Your solution becomes simple. That is why functions are very important in value methodology. Function is what it does and not what you get from it. Remember, function is what it does and not what you get from it. What you get from it is a purpose, is a higher order. What you get from a function, it's a higher order. Like a spanner. If I ask you what's the function of a spanner in 2 words, verb and noun, action, verb and measurable noun. Many of you will say it's rotate nut and opening nut and this and that. No. We have to indicate in action, verb, and it has to have a result, measurable result of that action. So the function of the spanner is deliver torque. Agreed? What is the function of a screwdriver? Very simple. Day in, day out we use it. You will say that the opening the screw and the closing the screw. No. Rotate screw. No. The function of the screwdriver is same. Deliver torque. Torque is measurable. And you are delivering. Deliver is action verb. This action verb is giving a result, torque. Depending upon how much torque is required, your screw is it is a measurable 3-inch or 2-inch screw, or sometimes it becomes a 10-inch screw, 10-joule driver. Similarly, if I ask you what is the function of a scissor, will you tell that it's cutting? No, scissor don't cut. It doesn't cut. It does something else. It has to be expressed in verb and noun, in action, verb, and measurable noun. So the functions of scissor is shear object. Is applying a shear force. Depending upon how much shear force is required, the scissor is designed. Compression spring. What is the function of a compression spring? Basic function of the compression spring. Is it for compression? Is it for cushioning? Is it for crushing? No. Once you compress it and you release the load, it has to come back again. That is the function of a compression spring. So it has to do something else. So the function of a compression spring in verb and noun, in action, verb and measurable noun, store energy. Because when you press it, it is storing the energy, potential energy. Once you release the load, it has to come back to its original position and is waiting for the next action to be done on it. You all use cars and motorcycles and scooters. So you all used to use the tire. But I'm sure you may not be knowing what's the function of a tire. Is it for driving? Is it for cushioning? Is it for holding the tube? Is it for traction? No, nothing of it. Because tube has come after the tire. So it is doing something else. What does it do in action, verb, and measurable noun? Tire, it enhances friction because you require friction for your maneuverability, for your safety. You require friction. If you don't have friction, it becomes very difficult to break the inertia and to stop. That is why you are aware. Then in the trains, train wheels, such a heavy load running at 100 km/h speed, because that is steel to steel. Rail, steel, the wheel is made of steel, the rail is made of steel. Coefficient friction is very less. Stopping is very, very difficult. And breaking the inertia is also very difficult. You require friction. On the road, you can't afford to have that less friction. There will be an accident. Let's talk about the law. Definitely, your mind is saying something about safety. No. Safety is what we get from it. What is it doing? That is a function. Action verb. And its result, the measurable noun. You are taking advantage of that action verb and measurable noun into your safety, but the function is not safety. That is a higher order. So the function of law is join parts. It is somebody who has developed this instrument. In his mind, it was there that how to join two parts so that I can provide safety. So safety is a higher order, is the purpose of the customer. That is not the main function. The basic function is join parts. You have key. Don't say the function of the key is to open the lock. No. Function of the key is not to open the lock. It is doing something else. All keys, if you are aware that all keys are made of brass. Brass is heavier than steel. Then still the brass is used. Brass is softer than the steel. Still brass is used. Brass is less wear resistant than steel. Why steel key is not, why the material is not made of steel? There must be some reason. There is a function. So the function of the key is deliver torque and protect lever. Because 100th time this key has to insert and operate the lever is made of steel. And if it is made of steel, the key is made of steel, it will rub onto the lever and the lever will get worn out. Very soon you have to throw the whole lock, you can't repair it. So the key is made out of a soft material, which is the softest material, and the least cost material in that range is brass. So the function of the key is deliver torque and protect lever. Spark plug. All of you are using spark plug in your car. What is the function of the spark plug? You will say, develop spark, create spark. No. If create spark is the function of the spark plug, then in the diesel engine, why you don't use the spark plug? So that means for starting a combustion, you don't require a spark. You require what? Without spark, you can start the engine. Diesel engine, you don't have spark. How does it start? So for starting a combustion engine, you require heat. This spark plug is providing heat. And in the diesel engine, you don't require external heat provision because the compression ratio is so high that internally the heat, tremendous amount of heat, it goes up to 1300-1400 degrees centigrade and it's self-combustion. Diesel is self-combustion. Battery stored energy. Hot plate generate heat. Flyover improve traffic. Because there is a traffic congestion, you have to improve the traffic. So one way is to make the flyover. So what does it do? What does the flyover do? It improves the traffic. And what you get out of it is a higher order, is a customer function. This is called That is called goal. That is called purpose. So try to find out the functions in this way. It opens your mind and it leads you to creativity for doing the same thing differently. All of us are using pen. And if I ask you what is the function of the pen, all of you must be saying that for writing. But pen is used for drawing also. Pen is used to make a dot also. Then what is the actual function? Because you cannot say drawing, writing, making dots, signature and all. So the most important function of the pen is make mark. All of you are using mask because of this COVID-19. Now, if I ask you what is the function, basic function, what is the most important function of the mask? You will say protect. No, protection is what you get out of it. That is what is customer looking for. That is the purpose. That is the higher order. Protection is not the main function. What it does is not protection. How do you get the protection is the function, what it does. It arrests virus. When you have a COVID-19, you are a victim. So the virus that spreads out of your mouth and the nose, it will get arrested. It will not impinge on others. And when somebody on this base plate, you are seeing this base plate, this gray color base plate. These base plates are made in a vendor shop and is brought in and then screwed into the box. We were talking about the functions of the base plate. We are talking about the functions of this base plate. Only the base plate. Don't look at this electrical part. We only are talking about the base plate. These electrical parts are fixed into the base plate by a vendor, and the vendor supply the whole things, and it is brought into the box and then screwed into the inner one. Now the functions of the base plate is assembly, hold parts, withstand load, transfer load, increase weight, prevent corrosion, comfort specification is handling, locate part. And the basic function is hold part. Then we go to the third phase, creative phase. The first attempt is how you can eliminate it. If you can't eliminate it, you have to live with it. Then eliminate what? Eliminate the undesired one. Then in the desired side, you say, can I improve it? You ask, can I replace it? Can I combine it? Or can I have more functions done from the same element? That's it. That is how we improve in the creativity phase. So in the creativity phase, you write the function here and you write down the ideas here. These are the 8 questions that you ask in the creativity phase. What can you add to improve it? What can you expect to improve it? Can you rearrange to improve it? I'll take 5 minutes more. Can you combine the same elements to improve it? What is the opposite of the object? Does the element have other uses? Can you reduce the size of the element? What are the other ways to do the function? These are the 8 questions you ask. Example, a bridge has to be made. Lightweight bridge. It's a very lightweight bridge. The function says connect land, withstand load, transfer load, prevent bending, eliminate obstacles, allow water flow, increase maintenance. If you look at these functions, then the idea will come. If you brood over this function, if you dwell over this function, the idea will come. A simple idea. A dilapidated wagon has been placed. Instead of constructing such a costly bridge, a wagon can be used for the bridge because there is no vehicle, no motor, no vehicle. There are only people, pedestrian, only people who are walking. Example, all of us buy toothpaste. You purchase the toothpaste, the tube is inside the box. You bring it home. Then what do you do with the box? You simply throw it. But the box costs you. If the toothpaste is costing, say, 70 rupees, the box must be costing more than 10 rupees. And you are simply throwing it. So what is the function of the box? So look at the functions of the box. The function of the box is enclose tube, enhance aesthetic, protect tube, consume space, specify product, pollute environment, consume paper. And the basic function is protect tube, which is wrong. Protect tube, the tube is made of material, plastic, and the box is made of paper. So paper is strong or the plastic is strong. You don't require any box. It is only a practice. It is only because you are used to see it, so you are using it, putting in the box and purchasing in the market. The same example of the paste, that the best plate that we have been talking about, these are the various ideas: reduce material thickness. In the creativity, these are ideas: replace material with the plastic, eliminate the best plate. Then you come to the evolution, that is the fourth phase. When you have developed many ideas, you have to boil down, you have to zero down to the best idea. It cannot be left onto your logic. There has to be some scientific technique. So these are the two scientific techniques. One is called paired comparison, and another is called decision matrix. By the combination of these two matrices, the scientific matrix, the best decision out of many will come. There is no time, there's a paucity of time, so we can't elaborate on that. It's a very, very, very scientific method of zeroing down to the best idea out of many. Then in the fifth phase, after when the evolution is done, you have to zero down to the best idea. Then we come to the fifth phase, in the called development phase. In the development phase, we try to find out fault, error, mistake, and flaw in the idea. And if any of them are existing, then we have to iron it out. How can you make it acceptable to user? In the development phase, you ask, how can you make it acceptable to user? What can you do to make it better? What can be done to make it cost further less? What are the strengths of the three best alternatives? What are the weaknesses of three best alternatives? And tangible and intangible benefits are calculated in this. Then we come to the final phase, that is called presentation phase. We present to the management, and you ask any view from the management. In the post-workshop, we go for the implementation, then we go for the review, and then we go for the audit. Finally, section 5, gains through value methodology. It improves on productivity, quality, cost, delivery, safety, and environment. Look at this graph. We are almost close to the presentation. Look at this graph. The vertical is VM saving in rupees, and the horizontal line is product life. When in the design and the development stage, your saving is maximum. And when it is already implemented, manufactured, and in the going on running state, your saving minimizes, your reduces. Nevertheless, you have saving all through. Now let's see what is not VM. It is not a sacrifice of quality. It is not a crash cost reduction method. It's not a cost reduction in the first place. It is not a one-time gimmick. It's not a one-time magic. It's a continuous. It's not a monopoly of one group. As I said, the design and development is the best applied. That doesn't mean that it is applied only in the research and development and design stage. It is not a criticism. Somebody has developed something and then through value methodology you have improved it. It's not a criticism to the former one. It's not a routine activity. It's not that every day you come to the office and you do value methodology. No, it is a specific and time-oriented and team-oriented activity. Towards the end, if you want to have more information, that is my mail address. You just send a mail to me and we can talk further on this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any questions to the participants, please? If you have any questions, you can ask. You can also write down in chat box. I will revert to sir. Anyway, sir, let them think and ask. But in between, I would just like to tell you that there are a lot of, what to say that everybody is appraising the kind of the PPTs you have shared. And also, it was very, very informative sessions from all of us. In fact, I am not from a technical background, but the way you have really made us to understand, and it's very, very apt for all of us. Like we see this every day in our life, the way you have done it. Value engineering or value analysis can be such an interesting topic. I think that's really great to understand from you. And the same thing has been shared by my friends, my colleagues, and also all the participants. So participants, if you have any questions, you can ask.
Can you hear me, Dr. Ruma Gomes? Can you
Yes,
hear
sir.
me?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I can thank you, Mr. Ghoshal, for a very crisp way he has give the value engineering and also value management. Sir, as sir, Alok sir, I am one small question. The question is
Yes,
that as I'm a HR background,
yes.
so how can we give this value in the HR front? Because you are telling that technically, but in
Yeah.
the HR front, how can get the human resource for this value engineering for this sector? Because we are dealing with the human resource. Can you highlight something, the human resource, how can do this value engineering?
Yes. See, as I told you, the value methodology is a function oriented. So in human resource, suppose you have got 25 people in your company in human resource, everybody is doing certain functions, and what are the functions of those functions have to be identified. And
Okay.
some of the functions may be not required, some of the functions may be required in better manner, and that is how we slowly improve. So,
Yes.
as I told you, anywhere where there is a transaction of money, value methodology is applicable.
Yes, yes. So actually, you are doing the screwdriver and all these things were
So
technically.
those are all technical. I have not so that, because if I show you all non-technical example also, it will take a lot of time. So I didn't want to show you, because there are a
Yeah.
lot of companies, like in many companies, like in the Village Street Bank, we have done the value methodology in the HR, in the purchase department, in the accounts department. It's all done. So anywhere there is a transaction where the money is involved, it's done.
Hmm.
It's all function oriented.
Yeah. So is a function improvement of the function of HR is the value
Yeah.
engineering.
Functions of the functions of HR. That is,
Functions
we
of the
take up,
function
say,
of HR.
like you have got some 10 functions, we become one critical function. Okay. So that critical function, what are the functions of the critical function that we identify? And then we find out which is an important function of that, what is the unimportant function of that, and then the overall that function will improve.
Yeah, thank you, Ghoshal Sahab. I must compliment your very quick
Yeah.
way you are given. Over
Sir,
to Dr.
there
Ruma.
are, yes, sir, there are two questions.
Yeah.
One is from Mr. Abhijit Pratap. He said, obviously, it's an informative sessions. Is there any standards which control the BAVE practices?
Usually, there are various modules of training. It's starting from half day to 4 days. So now, because of this COVID-19, we are not going personally, because we have got faculties there in India. We have got a group and we have got faculties, and we spread over and we take sessions for the companies. So it's all interactive session. Here in the computer, we cannot have the interactive. Online session cannot be interactive. It's only for the general awareness. So various modules. If somebody is interested, you can contact me so we can talk further in that.
Okay, great. So there is another question from Mr. Saundara Pandian. So he said that VM can apply in inventory reduction and how to do it.
Of course, we can be, say, inventory cost is around 15% of the total cost, total carrying cost around 15%. This 15% has to be brought down to 13%. And how it is to be done, like inventory, inventory, as I told Dr. Nataraj, that inventory has got many functions, many areas, and you list down those areas, and then you identify one or two critical areas where it's pinching you. and then we try to find out the functions of those activities.
Okay.
And then we try to find out what are the, whether all the functions are needed, all the functions are good function, or whether all the functions are strong functions, or there are certain unnecessary functions happening.
Okay, fine. So there are 3 more questions, sir. Just one is that how there is a Mr. Suresh Vishwakarma. He has asked that how do you relate VE and VM to sustainable engineering practices?
Yes, sustainable engineering practices. We have say, I'll give an example of Tata Steel. Sustainability is more important than the cost saving. So how VM is applied, you know, where Tata Steel, you must have you have seen that when the plate is rolled and it is sent to the trailer. In earlier, there are 2 wooden blocks is to be used, and when it is delivered to the customer, the wooden blocks are all stolen. And the when you use the wooden block, so that when the transportation, the roll doesn't, the steel roll doesn't move here and there on the trolley, on the trailer. So wooden wood you have to procure from the forest, and it's unfriendly. So how to make it sustainable? So we use steel instead of wooden block. We now use steel. That means we use steel, we weld steel to the trailer, and we bind that strip onto the trailer, and when it goes to the customer, that they cut down that goes the block, steel block. But then steel block can be used. It's recyclable. So that is how sustainability goes. So I mean, that's a simple example that I've given. So that is how value engineering talks about not only on the cost part, but also safety, where the cost is not the matter. For the environment, the cost is not a matter. Sustainability is not a matter. It can be done.
Okay, sir, there is also one more question from Mr. Murthy. Now, also, I would like, is it possible, sir, for you to share your phone number or mail ID, because there are a lot of questions that are coming. I don't think that because of the paucity of time, we will be able to, answer all the questions. So, if it is possible, you can share.
I've shared my email ID.
Okay.
If I've already shared, but if somebody wants to note it down, you can note it down. Shall I speak out? Shall I speak out?
You can also put it in the chat box. But in between, if you can give 2 more question answer, that Mr. Abhijit Pratap has written, Six Sigma is also process improvement techniques. So what is exactly difference between Wabe and Six Sigma?
Yes, very good question that you have asked. Six Sigma, it's called DMAX cycle. You know, from DMAX cycle, when you say analyze, DMAX, in the DMAX cycle in A is called analyze. When you analyze, this analysis is done through VAB, because analysis is done through function. If you don't do through the function, if you go by the logic, in the DMAX, what you do in the analysis is go by the logic, which is not good, because it's not structured. It's all your intuition and your intelligence that you're applying. But if you apply analysis through VAB, you get a better result. So Six Sigma result will be better if you punch VAB into that analysis.
Okay. Somebody has also asked that if you can give some example for the service industry.
Service industry, can somebody tell me what is the service industry? What is that they're talking about service industry?
Just he has only written that that if you can give some example on service industries.
Say service industry.
It's advertising.
Advertising. Okay, advertising.
Yeah, advertising. Now, all advertising is done for creating value, isn't it? Now, for creating value, what are the elements that you are using that you have to first list down? And that element, all these elements, because through element means you use your time, you use your money, you use your manpower, you use your space. These are all elements that you use. And through this, I mean, this element, then we break these elements into functions. And then we try to find out how much money is spent on these functions in the present case, which is creating a present value, and how to improve the value. That is how we proceed in the advertisement industry.
Okay, last questions. Let us take that. And also, Alok sir has already shared his mail ID. So for all of your understanding, sir, also a lot of people are asking, is it possible for you to share the PPTs? I think that you can ask directly to Alok sir by sending him a mail. There is a last question which has Mr. Suresh Viswakarma has written, that where would we ensure break-even between the VE and its impact on society or public?
There is the Indian Value Engineering Society in India. So you just become a member of Indian Value Engineering Society and you can get a lot of knowledge, a lot of information out of it.
Okay.
If you want to note down the website website number of this society, I can just tell it. Is the questioner there? You can note down. Shall I say? In short, invest. 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 In short. Short letter. Invest.in. Invest-in.org. Invest-in.org is a website of Indian Value Engineering Society.
So thank you so much, sir. And thank you, Dr. Suresh Vishwakarma from Canada. He is writing all the questions. So thank you for joining from so far. And thank you, Alok sir, for giving such an impactful insight to all of us. And hope to see you again with some different exciting session. So is there anything else would we like to discuss, or Natras sir, would you also like to conclude?
Yeah, thank you, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You can conclude. Thank you very much. Both of you done a wonderful program. You and Alok ji. Thank you very much. We'll do this program in Eastern India more and more for your leadership, Rumaji. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.